Welcome, everyone. We had hoped to be outside today with the sun shining. The sun is peeking out, but it is a good moment, actually, to thank our incredible colleagues at Public Works and the men and women in the Recreation and Park Department for all of their work this weekend, Mayor. It was a hectic weekend. We are here. It is dry in the building, even if we've already turned off the heat. We have an incredible celebration for you. So my name is Phil Ginsberg. I'm the General Manager of the Recreation and Park Department. Thank you. And we are going to start with a land acknowledgement and just take a second to acknowledge that we occupy the unceded ancestral homeland of the Ramaytush Ohlone peoples, who are the original inhabitants of the San Francisco Peninsula. We honor the Ramaytush Ohlone peoples for their enduring commitment to Mother Earth. As the indigenous protectors of this land and in accordance with their traditions, the Ramaytush Ohlone have never ceded, lost, nor forgotten their responsibilities as the caretakers of this place, as well as for all peoples who reside in their traditional territory. As stewards of parkland, we recognize our duty to honor the Ohlone through the thoughtful and informed preservation and interpretation of ancestral land. As uninvited guests, we affirm their sovereign rights as First Peoples and wish to pay our respects to the ancestors, elders, and relatives of the Ramaytush community. Thank you. Okay, here we are in the heart of San Francisco, south of Market, serving the SOMA Filipinos, our city's Filipino Cultural Heritage District. Gene Friend Rec Center, SOMA Rec Center. This site has been serving the community since 1990 through basketball, soccer, youth, and after-school programming, activities for seniors, a playground, a weight room, and more. This place, like a few other of our facilities around town, has been literally, Misha, loved to death. It is time. It is time to give this place a refresher, a renovation. We're going to make it bigger and grander. This project is part of the 2020 Health and Recovery Bond, although I will note, and you're going to hear from our speakers in a second, Donnie, and I'm going to introduce you in a minute, this might have been the very first rec center I visited as general manager. I've been to rec centers as a San Franciscan, but might have been the very first one, Mayor. And that goes back to actually 2009. So that is how long this project has been percolating, because Donnie, if you remember, you and your brother came and we did some fix-ups to the weight room way back when, and I'll talk more about that in a second. But these things take time, and we could not have gotten here without our mayor's leadership and the commitment of the 2020 Health and Recovery Bond, because they're as it turns out, these sorts of projects are kind of expensive. Without that bond, we would not be here today. So we also want to thank the voters. During and after the pandemic, there were tons of challenges around this project: increased building costs, supply delays, decreased project revenues, stalled downtown construction. Everything that could have prevented this project from happening pretty much happened, right, Misha? And yet, here we are, and we're here because of passionate partnerships. I really want to give a big shout out to Guillermo and Sharka from the Trust for Public Land, passionate community representation, incredibly generous philanthropy, and passionate political leadership, and a passionate commission. That's how we get here. That's how we get to places like this today. She helped us navigate all these challenges, helped us make sure that the funding actually existed for this project. So, Madam Mayor, the mic is yours.
Okay, can you hear me? Phil, I can hardly hear you. They got this all snaked in here. I'll talk as best as I can with this. Let me just really start by thanking Phil Ginsburg for his extraordinary leadership for all of our park systems around the entire city. He and his team, from the park rangers to the gardeners to everything in between, and our commissioners, we have some of the best parks anywhere in the world. And I mean that because when people come to San Francisco, folks may say a lot of things about our city, but the one thing that they can't say anything bad about are the parks and just how amazing they are, the open space, and how so many kids, seniors, and communities from all over, they fill these parks with so much laughter, so much joy, and so much excitement. And that's why being here today at Gene Friend to finally do what this community has been asking for so long. And we have a lot of great representatives from the community. I see you, Rudy, from United Players. Thank you. Not only for your work in the community, but your advocacy when we put this bond on the ballot back in 2020, asking the voters of San Francisco to support projects like this. The people of this city were amazing and didn't hesitate. So I want to thank all of the community and the folks who are part of this, and the Trust for Public Land for their continued commitment to the city and county of San Francisco, because the health and safety bond wasn't all we needed in order to get this project done. It took a lot of different layers, and so I'm so glad to see my dear friend, Don Friend, who is joining us here today, the son of Gene Friend, who is going to talk to you all in just a moment. It did take a village to bring this together. And what I appreciate most are the kids, the families, the people who use this particular park. They are the ones who help to decide what will happen. More gym space, workout facility, a kitchen, 2 different community rooms, protected area for kids to play outside, picnic areas. This will be the place to be all over San Francisco, but I gotta say, I know that the kids who grow up in this space take a lot of pride in how they help to usher in what will be a new, extraordinary addition to San Francisco's Rec and Park system. So I want to thank all of you again for voting on the Health and Safety Recovery Bond back in 2020, and all the additional resources and support that we're getting to make this project happen. This is really one of the things that I'm most proud of in San Francisco, is how extraordinary we are when it comes to our park system. And I will tell you, as someone who grew up in the park system of San Francisco, to go from swings that are broken, sand that was filled with all kinds of other stuff, and the challenges that existed and how we had to pull things together to make some of the equipment and stuff that we had, the basic stuff that we had work, to see where we were and where we are now. We have to remember what happened in the past to appreciate how wonderful it is to be here today and to really celebrate this amazing accomplishment because of so many of you who are dedicated to our park system here in San Francisco. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
I think the mayor suggested I should use the mic. So that's what I'm going to do now. So up next, it is my pleasure to introduce another champion of this community, our District 6 Supervisor, Matt Dorsey. This neighborhood, I think many people in this room would acknowledge and have advocated for a lack of park investment, right? This is a neighborhood that historically has evolved from being an industrial community to a residential community, and a very dense one, and a community with a lot of kids. And we're so pleased through the leadership of the district supervisors. I see Supervisor Jane Kim in the audience. Thank you, Supervisor Kim. Former Supervisor Jane Kim. Between all the good stuff and all the good investment at VMD, at Victoria Manolo Draves, and now this facility, We feel like we're creating an incredible hub here. And just a little bit about this hub. This is also a hub for us for not just all of our youth in the neighborhood, but it is a focal point for adaptive recreation. This rec center, and specifically we've hosted the Bay Bridge Bowl Power Soccer Tournament, which is a tournament for adaptive soccer played in specially modified power wheelchairs. We have adopted adaptive basketball that has taken place in this facility. We have we all know our Warriors and our Niners and our Giants, but do we know about our Golden State Ducks, our very own local power soccer team who are based in this facility? So the new Gene Friend is going to continue to be, in addition to community serving and youth serving and senior serving, a new disability sports hub for everyone, to give everyone an opportunity to get out and play, whether it's basketball, wheelchair basketball, or goal ball for blind and visually impaired athletes, to power soccer. This is also a site that has hosted community celebrations, Eid ul-Fitr, Eid ul-Adha, and this is just a wonderful community space. So to talk a little bit more about it, Supervisor Matt Dorsey.
Thank you so much. I think I'll do what the mayor did and hold on to the mic. So I'm still new enough as a supervisor that sometimes whenever there's an event for a project, I will describe myself in this case as the Rosie Ruiz of the Gene Friend Recreation Center. And if you don't know that obscure reference, it is the winner of the 1980 Boston Marathon who won the marathon until they found out that she jumped into the race a quarter mile before the finish line and just took credit for it. So I always feel like there's a lot of people who deserve a lot of credit before I was ever on the scene. And especially Honey Mahogany is here representing Matt Haney, who is my predecessor now in the assembly. And I know that you've both been champions of this. Jane Kim was mentioned also, and I think that there's a lot of leaders who brought important leadership to this, including Mayor Breed and the work that she did to get the bond passed for this. Phil Ginsburg also is somebody who is a friend and colleague from back in the city attorney days. I have known him for years, and we are just well served by his leadership. But mostly, like Phil mentioned some of the things the challenges that were presented and or everything that could have delayed this somehow came up. One of those actually crossed my desk too, and I remember when we were having some discussions about this, I mentioned to some people, as a supervisor, we come and go, but the important people who are served by this are the community, people like United Playas, West Bay, the residents of here. I'm going to be here for maybe 4 years or 8 years or whatever voters decide to keep me, but everything we do should be guided by what we're leaving for the community. And that was really important, and I would just want to express my gratitude to the community leaders for everything that they have done on this. And two, I know we're going to hear from Don Friend, and I think I just want to mention, I didn't know Eugene Friend, but I certainly knew Eugene Friend by reputation. This was someone who was a successful businessman, a native San Franciscan, also just a dedicated philanthropist, but more than that, somebody who also was invested in sweating the details as a rec and park commissioner, and who actually did the work and rolled up his sleeves to make a difference for this city. And it means a lot to represent a district that has a resource like this, that recognizes the leadership that Gene Friend brought to this community, and that the Friend family continues to. So that means a lot too. And with that, I just will hand off, but I just want to say that it's an honor to be a part of this, and I'm really looking forward to coming here and being part of all the things that this will celebrate. Let's kick it off. Thanks so much.
So as Supervisor Dorsey noted, our next speaker is Don Friend. And Don, you and your brother Bob were with me back in 2009 when I think Misha or Rudy, I think the community had asked for a little support to renovate the weight room. There were a lot of needs in this space. And I remember very much your brother saying to me then, he said, Phil, don't ever put your family's name on a building, because when it breaks, you got to fix it. But your family has never shied away from stepping up as leaders of this city, always doing whatever you can to help this city and Park specifically in honor of your dad. And after we did a small project here of fixing up the weight room, we did the outdoor basketball court, we all decided that it was time for this building to have a much bigger refresh. And we came back to you and we said, can you help us with some of the design and community planning and outreach? And of course you said yes. Your support to the Trust for Public Land, who was our key partner in the design process, and we're going to introduce our amazing design team in just a little bit, allowed us to actually dream big, which is what this community deserves. So Donnie, thank you from the bottom of my heart. We'd love to have you come and say a few words.
Wow, what an honor it is to be standing here today. First of all, my dad really did serve, and thank you, Matt, for your kind words. He was very serious about his job as president of the Park and Rec Commission, as well as many other civic leadership activities that he engaged in. But he wanted to make sure that people from all over the city were able to access the parks in whatever way that took, whether it was to bring kids from the Tenderloin out to the zoo or to make use of this facility. He wanted to make that happen. And so when Phil came to us with this idea of making, of dolling this place up, it made all the sense in the world, but it was very, very intimidating with the amount of cost that it was going to take to do that. So to have everyone team up, Mayor, to have you come together and put that bond and get it passed and make us all work together as a community is really special for us to see. My family's origins really were from around this area, just up on up on 6th Street near the cable car turnaround on Powell Street, is where my grandfather and my father had their first retail business that served the community, and they really loved the people that were around here. They understood what the needs were, and they understood how people were lifted up by participation. And so it is especially meaningful for us to have had Mayor Brown at the time to shepherd the naming of this facility after my dad. It really warms my heart, and it warms my heart to see all of you that have been so active in making this a turnaround. So I guess our target is going to be a couple years, 2016, to get there. And I wore my basketball shoes today, but I don't think we're going to be able to play quite yet with all the boards missing. But I hope that we will have a grand opening at that time, and just want you all to know that if my dad, may he rest in peace, were able to see what's going on today, he would have a huge smile on his face. And so thank you all for all of your support and your participation. Look forward to seeing you more here in the future.
All right, this facility, as much as any other, has truly been about community. This neighborhood has such a rich, diverse history. It's known for Filipino art and culture, LGBTQ culture, political activism, and it is grounded by the community organizations that serve it. Some of our partners include United Playas, West Bay Filipino Multi-Service Center. UP and West Bay have played a huge role in the community outreach process. They've been true partners in every sense of the word. And this project the history of this site is community first. This project and its design have been community first. And when it reopens, it will be community first. So it's my great pleasure to introduce Vanessa Biss and Misha Olivas.
Hi, everyone. This is definitely a bittersweet experience, but I am so happy to see a positive change happening in my community. I was born and raised in this neighborhood, and I've been to the rec since I was in the 2nd grade. When Bessie Carmichael used to be where BMD Park is at now, they used to take us here for PE classes. This is where I met a lot of good people from different walks of life, childhood friends who I still connect with to this day. I first met Rudy here before I even know what his mission was, United Players, and Tim, who was my first basketball coach. I'm not gonna lie, I was trash when I first started playing ball. And I knew that, well, when I started playing, I knew that Tim was my first basketball coach, and I was trash. And I know he knew that. But he never showed me any type of discouragement. He always kept me in good spirits and motivated me to go hard, and that alone made me want to be better. He instilled resilience in me to where I didn't want to give up, and so I practiced until I got better. By the time I was in the 4th and 5th grade, I was balling. I remember this one particular game. It was SOMA versus St. Mary's. My coaches were Gary and Tim at the time. We went into double overtime, and the team to make the next shot wins. It was so nerve-wracking, you could feel the whole gym's energy. And we were going back and forth for at least 3 possessions until I was able to get a steal. I was going for a drive, and I heard and saw Tim waving to me to go for a layup. But I ended up stopping mid-range and throwing up a shot. I swear, time stopped for a few seconds, and swoosh, I made the winning shot. Everyone was going crazy. It was such a good feeling. I go back to the bench and celebrate with my team. Tim yells his famous line for me, "Vanessa Business, get down to business," which is his nickname he gave me growing up. And to this day, I represent it and hold it dear to my heart. Although they'll be tearing this wreck down that has held so many memories and helped build character for so many people, I hope that when it becomes this modern state-of-the-art building, that we never lose its true soul. I know we as a community will continue to keep it alive, and hopefully we can build many more legacies and generations to come, and I look forward to being a part of that future. Thank you.
So as you can see, this is personal. It's, it's a bond for some, it's architectural plans for others, it's a contract for others, but this is personal for us. My name is Misha Olivas. I'm the Director of Community and Family Engagement with United Players. I was born and raised in San Francisco, and I've lived in the South of Market for over 20 years. Thank you to everyone who's helped us get to this special day. We have to give a special shout out to former Commissioner Alan Lowe for being a SOMA champion for so many years while he was on the Park and Rec Commission. Former supervisors Jane Kim and Matt Haney, Sunny Angulo and Honey Mahogany as their aides. And really a huge shout out to Melinda, who's the project manager on the RPD side. Melinda has done her best to stay engaged with us and make sure that the new building will meet the community's needs as much as this one has. And also a special shout out to Swinnerton because they're gonna get it in on schedule. And also huge thanks to the Friend family for your continued support of SOMA and helping to make this place as great as it can be. So as was stated earlier, SOMA is the neighborhood with the least amount of public open space, and this is our one and only indoor facility. In a neighborhood of constant crisis and chaos, this building has been a safe haven, a refuge, a place of respite for so many young and old alike. This building has held so many events and moments for this community, good moments, hard moments, but we've been able to do it together because of this place. This building has been Neverland and Oz for our kids in their summer program plays. And when the city was at the height of the pandemic, this building was a literal lifesaver, as it allowed us and West Bay to hold one of the city's largest community hubs for neighborhood kids to do their distance learning safely. The walls of this building have nurtured this neighborhood's future, like Vanessa. And so many of our staff, so many of UP and West Bay staff have grown up in this building. My own children have grown up in this building. And so we're so excited for what the future holds, even though, as Vanessa said, it's a little bittersweet. We're so thankful for our partnership with RPD and Phil Ginsberg and RPD staff. Shout out Tim Figueres. We love you, June. We could not do what we do without this partnership. Buildings only matter because of the people that fill them up. We are so excited to be back here with all of you in 2 years or so for a ribbon cutting for the brand new facility that our neighborhood deserves. We are committed to moving right back in, running program, holding events, and creating community, and continuing this partnership so that the new rec center can mean just as much to this neighborhood and its people into the future as this old building did. So thank you all for being here today. This building deserves the most amazing send-off, and so we're really happy that we're able to do this in community with all of you, and we'll see you soon.
So, Vanessa, we have a little present for you. And Misha, you did such a good job. You just took the whole thank you section out of that I was about. You were awesome. But in honor of Coach Figueres and his incredible legacy and memory here, and his influence on you, Vanessa, this is a net from this building that we are presenting to you. You're welcome. All right, just a few thank yous, and then we are going to break ground. There are some folks that we want to recognize and acknowledge. Supervisor Safai, thank you for being here and being so interested in parks. Really, again, they've been mentioned, but the Trust for Public Land, thank you. Guillermo, thank you, Sharka, for all of your involvement in this project and your stewardship of an incredible design team. So I want to call them out. Mark Cavaniero and Elizabeth Ranieri from Kuth Ranieri. We have an architecture and landscape architecture team. I'm just calling you out. You're not speaking, Mark, but you'll have your moment in the sun. I want to acknowledge former Supervisor and current Assemblyman Matt Haney, whose staff member Honey Mahogany is here. Thank you very much for being here. Our Great Rec and Park Commission, who has helped us steward this project. We've got our Vice President, Joe Hallisey, and Commissioner Benita Louie is here. I too want to acknowledge former Commissioner Alan Lowe for his real passion in this neighborhood and in this space, and for fighting for this community. The San Francisco Parks Alliance, they're neighbors right down the street. They will continue to help us program this space and have helped us lift up the philanthropic culture here in San Francisco. They deserve a big round of applause too. I mentioned the design team, but I also want to mention the construction team. Misha gave a shout out to Swinnerton. I will too. To Angie Wu, and I saw McPenn here. And it all comes together under incredible city staff. Our Public Works Director, Carla Short, is here, I'm sure, with her staff. Our Rec and Parks Director of Capital and Planning, Stacy Bradley, and our amazing project manager, Melinda Sullivan, is here. Thank you guys for your leadership. Is Carla Laurel, the Executive Director of West Bay Filipino Multi-Service Center here? Carla, where are you? Well done, thank you very much. The Bayanihan Equity Center, another great community partner. I mentioned SOMA Filipinas. I also want to acknowledge the Bay Area Outreach and Recreation Program, BORP, that is really helping us elevate the game and make sure all sports are accessible to all of us. Thank you, BORP. And then also to our great park staff that are going to help us steward this space, Allie McCarthy and David Williams, and our amazing ADA coordinator, Lucas Tobin, is here. I am sure I have left some folks out. You can remind me of that later, but now we're going to get down to business and we are going to break ground. So if, you know, if you're not outside, you bring outside in. Here comes the dirt. And so I'd love to have the mayor, Donnie, Supervisor Dorsey, Vanessa and Misha. And then after that, we're going to take some photos. So I'd also like to welcome on stage our Rec and Park Commissioners, Guillermo Rodriguez, Carla, and then June Tanai Figueres, the wife of Tim Figueres, is here. June, where are you? I didn't even, oh, June, come on up. Hi, June. And we're going to break ground. Joe, Vanita, come join us.
All right. Here we go. Want to do it?